hair tutorial. So I washed and conditioned it last night, and I just slept in my bonnet with it kind of damp, which I don't normally like to do, but it was already like 10 o'clock and I need to get some sleep. But yeah, so now I'm going to I'll put in Loma. It's like a fridge control kind of thing, and then I still use like Cantu, just like a tanny bit, just to kind of help with the curls. We don't have to use a lot. I really water it down and just give it like an overall little love. And then now I'm gonna diffuse it a little bit to dry it, like so my curls dry the way I want them to. So with this tutorial, I am no professional. I just know that I've tried many different ways to try to get my hair to sit the way I want it to sit. So the night before, I had washed and conditioned my hair, but it was like 10 o'clock, going on 11 o'clock, and I was honestly very tired. I didn't want to stay up super late, let it air dry as long as I would have normally liked to do it. So here I'm just put it in a bonnet, let it sit overnight. And then the next morning, I sprayed it down a little bit. I kind of activated my curls, and I went back through with my diffuser. There were some curls that were not wanting to lay right, so I did respray those, kind of gave it like a little bit of a crunch, and then try to go back in with the diffuser to get those curls to lay properly. This does take a little bit of time, but I find that it's less time than trying to do a blowout or any other style. And this is super fast, super quick. Not too much work. I do like to flip it back and forth because I did notice that if you do that while it's drying, you get a lot more movement and it does dry a bit more evenly and it sits better. So I like to kind of flip it back and forth. A lot of times I will then go upside down as well to trying to get that curl to feel like a little bit lengthened, if that makes sense. So yeah, it is a bit of a process trying to kind of get it to sit the way I want it to sit. And being that this is a new hairstyle to me with the bangs, I've been still trying to figure out how I want it to sit. But yeah, so I believe this is kind of how I do my hair the first day. After that, I usually tend to just do a spray bottle with a little to kind of get it in the right space. If I have to use quite a bit of water because it gets a bit matted kind of underneath, and then I have to comb it through, then I'll have to use the diffuser to kind of get her back in shape. But the day or two after the first wash, it does tend to rejuvenate really, really quickly. So yes, it does take time, but less time than the average hairstyle, I believe. And it's very, very cute, as I will show you in the end. So here I am giving it another flip to get the other side kind of rolling. It's kind of like the finishing touches, just about. But you can still see on the ends of my curls, they're still pretty wet. So I'm trying to kind of get those ends in there. My roots seem to feel pretty good. But yeah, so I have to kind of just do this quite a bit, flipping it back and forth, getting it to be able to sit evenly. It does take time. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just kind of pushing it up into there, trying to get that root dry, and also kind of dry it with the diffuser. It kind of holds the curl in place. And if I'm just doing just the blow dryer, it tends to cause a lot of frizz if it's like wet when I dry it, and then the curls don't stay as defined because I feel like I'm blowing them almost like out of formation. So towards the end, I'll put a little air on top without diffuser attachment. But yeah, it's definitely a process. So here's where I take the blow dryer without the attachment, and I basically am kind of just trying to get the root on top to kind of give me a bit of flare, kind of fluff shape, whatever you want to call it, at the back of my head, because I notice it kind of lays a little flat there sometimes because of some scars that I've had there since I was a child. So my hair grows a little funny at the top crown area of my head. So, but yeah, I like to kind of go in towards the top, and then I kind of give it a teeny bit of volume by adding a little bit of blow drying. I don't like to do this when my hair is too wet though, because it frizzes up. But if I go light and I go cool air, and it just gives it more volume, because I like big hair. If it's not big, it won't sit nice. So yeah, there I am again, kind of giving it a little bit of once over with my hands. Yep, a little shake. I look crazy. A little shake, just to kind of get my hair to kind of sit wild and fun and free, but also look put together. It is definitely an art. And yes, it's just, I just prefer this method of when I'm doing my hair than when I'm blow drying it straight. It just takes, you know, it's just easier. I feel like when you're trying to do a blowout, it's like you have to have it perfect because it's straight, and so it has to sit a certain way. With curls, it can be wild and free, and it looks great even if the curls aren't like perfectly symmetrical or perfectly sitting great. It will still look good than having the perfection of a blowout. But yeah, I feel like it's like really sitting nice. I just like to play with it, tease it, kind of see how the curls feel, get that roundness around the top, and let my curls to sit flat in the front as far as like my bangs go. I think it looks pretty cute. I'm gonna see all these like little, this one is always tripping. I don't know what to do with that one half the time. So here I am just at work, entering invoices, and I have to stamp them so that we know that the invoices are in there. But yeah, I'm answering phones and checking my numbers, checking dates, making sure everything's in order. It was a very chill day. I was only there half the day because of the holiday. It's pretty slow right now because most people have their cars for the weekend. My boss is great. You may hear her in the background. I'm speeding through her voice just so she doesn't feel like she has to be on blast because she didn't know I was recording. But I love her. She's great. But yeah, so I'm just gonna just speed through this. I mainly did this because I did a hair tutorial earlier in the video. Honestly, I just be vibing at work sometimes. Like, I really do be having a good time sometimes. Like, it's hard because it's a lot of details I have to remember. But overall, like, I feel like I have a really good experience. I have good bosses and a good environment and leniency when it comes to, like, having to go and get my children if I need to. If they're out of school, I can take the day off. Like, it's just such a blessing to have that, honestly, because it would be so hard to find a job if I didn't have that opportunity to be able to get them if I need to. So I'm really blessed. So I did notice when I started writing this invoice, something didn't quite make sense. I feel like I already wrote this number before, so I had to kind of go back and double check my numbers. I'm like, wait, hold on, like this invoice is the same as what I just typed, and I realized there's a part one and part two. Sometimes they come in like multiple pages, and so I have to go through and like put those pages together because it's the same invoice. But I had to like go through and just like double check, like like what's going on. That does happen sometimes, but I'm glad I spotted it. So here I was talking to my boss about something, and she is honestly so funny, and they're all so goofy, and we laugh so much at work. She just be cracking me up sometimes the way that she be saying things, and they're very like jovial people as well. So there's a lot of singing and of like a lot of classic songs. A lot of them I don't know, but like I do enjoy that fun side of the job. So me and her were just like talking about stuff and kind of chit-chatting across offices. And sometimes it's pretty loud because the men are working in the shop, and it's just like clinging, clanging, banging, all kinds of stuff. So sometimes it's hard for us to hear each other. So we have to kind of walk into each other's offices to be able to speak to each other. But yeah, and I also adjusted my camera angle because I try to move it to where I was sitting at my desk. But yeah, I was just, I really enjoy being able to joke around with her. We were talking about this dinner place that's pretty pricey, but it's supposed to be really good. I've never been there before, but she's been to so many different restaurants and all over the place, and she just like knows all of them. So I'm constantly asking her like, what are you having for lunch? And like, what, where are you going to go for dinner? And so me and her just get along really great. I really like her. So here I am. I am finishing up all the invoices. There were so many from the day before. So I was really happy I got them all finished and wear pretty much whatever I want to work. And I always end up realizing I'm wearing black because like I wear a black jacket because it's like stays clean, and my leggings just happen to be black, and my boots just happen to be black. My hair is not black. Like I'm usually wearing like a bunch of bright colors, but we're all black today. So I totally forgot to film an outro, but thank you so much for watching this video. It's kind of a get ready for me. Like and subscribe.